on The Rich, meeting inspiring, reputable individuals who've climbed up the ladder of success, but not without trials and tribulations and battles along the way. Listen to their stories, find out the role they play in our society, be inspired as we get out of them what our viewers truly need to know to reach those heights.
For Lakade Suba, getting the answers that help you make sense of the journey.
Fascination made me want to study.
Who's next on the seat? Find out on The Reach, weeknights on NCTV.
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us on The Rich today. Happy New Year. This is the first episode of the new year 2018. Today, my guest is Nollywood actor Jude Aurora. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
First guest of the new year. How do you feel about that?
Elated.
Now, before we start, there's a favorite scene of mine from one of your movies, and I want us to cue that first before we begin this conversation. Check out this clip from You, Me, and the Boys. I think my team is just trying to pull up the video here. Okay, here we go.
Marriage. One man, one woman. But in Nigeria, one man, one woman, his entire family, her entire family, his entire friends, her entire friends. As we all know, family does not comprise only of relations by blood, but can also be those you grew up with who became so close that you just have to regard them as family. If you want to marry in Nigeria, your scenes, I can't really remember. Let's just say when we were kids. One thing you should know about Hush is...
Let us pray. Bless this food for Christ's sake. Amen.
I don't know how he does it, but Uche Odega eats a lot. He can eat anything. One more thing. Hush is jobless.
Oh, wow. Wow. That was... oh, my goodness. I love that scene. It was just... Wow. I think I have a little bit of teardrops there. What was it like taking up a role like that? That was such a... Did you laugh a lot? Because, I feel like I would just laugh constantly if I was... playing a role like that. Did you actually have to eat all the food?
Yes, actually, every scene in that movie I ate.
Oh my goodness.
Every scene, from gari to bread to cornflakes.
Well, at least you can't say you were ever hungry on set.
Eba to rice to beans, everything I ate. Every scene I must eat.
Oh my goodness. Well, you were never hungry on set, that's for sure.
No.
Now, let's begin with some details. You know, people want to get to know you. Well, they already do, of course. But now, so you studied dramatic arts at Obafemi Awolowo University.
Yes.
Now, what was that like? What made? How did you come up with the decision that that was what you wanted to do with your life?
Actually, I grew up in a society where in the 70s, stage dramas were prominent, as in people go to theaters, little theaters in the 70s to watch drama. And I was fortunate enough to have the interest in acting ever since I was young. So before I got to university, I'd already started doing some little dramas in school. Primary school and secondary school. And when I was in secondary school, I was a member of the Literary and Debating Society and, of course, dramatic group. So before I finished my WAEC, I'd already made up my mind to start acting. So it was something I decided from.
Because I mean, it's definitely not a usual, you know. So I can't even ask if your parents influenced, because you know when people often say, "Oh, I studied to become a lawyer or a doctor," the first question was, "Did your parents influence your choice?" But it's not a popular choice for parents, you know, when it comes to arts.
No, way back in the 70s, it was not. Way back in the 70s, you find parents saying that they want their sons or daughters to become lawyers and accountants.
So how did you fight for that?
And all that.
How did you know?
Well, I stayed with my mom. I practically grew up with my mom because they were divorced a long time ago. So it was kind of easy for me, even though my mom was a teacher, you know, because I stayed with her and she's a strict disciplinarian. So I was able to find my way through, because after secondary school, I became a member of Center for Cultural Studies, University of Lagos.
Yeah.
Then there was no theater arts department. It was just like a group. A theater
So what
group.
were you involved in when you were within that group? Should I call it? What were you doing? What was that?
Yeah, we were doing research on African tradition, mythologies, and all that. And I think they started theater arts course in 1990. As at then, I had left Unilag and went to study dramatic art fully in Obafemi Awolowo University in 1992.
So you've been an actor since 1987.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! How many years is that? I think my mathematics
like 30
is a little. How many years is that?
Like 30 years.
Oh my good! Wow.
30 years.
I should say congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's a lot of years. Now, some of your first, because you started on stage first.
Yes.
Before you dived into TV shows and all that. Now, some of your early works were Halls of War and Checkmate, a soap opera where you started the deaf and dumb character. Let me see if my team can pull up the Checkmate video.
Please. Yeah, that clip, that was 1990. I was just 20 years old.
Look at the difference, my goodness.
I was 20 years old then.
I would almost not believe that was you. What was going on in that scene?
These are the two senior brothers, the two first sons of Chief Fuji, and they're just coming home from school, only for them to find out another child in the house, another kid, and they're like wondering, who is this person? And that's why this guy is asking. He said, who is this person? He said, that's our latest brother from Chief Fuji, as in the guy is a polygamous man, so he just had kids everywhere, and so all the mothers came to dump their kids in the house. Now,
what was it like being involved with that production at that time? You know, that was years back. What was going through your mind as you were a part of that unit?
I didn't really plan to be part of that program. I went for, there was a stage play called Albert at Peck Theatre, 1990, February to be precise. And the late Amaka Igwe, who owns the program, came to watch the stage drama. And she just fell in love with both of us, me and the other guy called Tunde Yuba. Tunde Yuba played the role of the cultist in Checkmate. So she just sent an invitation for us to come to the office for an audition. And then there was no GSM phone. So It was just
Oh
production.
my goodness!
Production
How did you
assistant.
survive?
Oh my god! That's why we had PAs and production managers then. So what you do is just write your address on a piece of paper, and
what?
they will now go and trace your house.
Oh my goodness!
You know, so
wow.
they came to the house and said I should come for an audition. So I went to their office at Sanusi Fafunwa Street in Victoria Island. That was where I met Amaka Igwe. And I was auditioned, and the next thing, I just didn't bother because we've gone to so many auditions. They will tell you we'll get in touch with you. So one of those, I just
one of those things that
yes.
you weren't really expecting, and
Good.
it just sort of
Good.
flew into the basket.
Good. So 2 months after, someone came to my house and dropped a letter. Mr. Judorora, you have been cast for a role in our next coming TV soap opera.
How did you feel at that
Checkmate.
moment? What sort of emotions were running through you?
Mixed feelings, because all my life before Checkmate had got me used to stage acting. So TV acting is a different ballgame entirely. On stage you play with your body, gestures and all that, but on TV, your face, because that is your selling point. So I needed to learn how to adapt to screen as well.
Was it a challenging transformation?
Yes, serious challenge.
Because I feel people probably have a conception that, oh, you do theater acting, so it's easy to just go right into TV.
No. It's not that easy, because TV acting is different from stage, and stage is also different from radio.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A radio drama, you imagine yourself as someone who is blind, so your voice plays more, as in, is this person angry? Is this person sad? Is this person your mood, your tone? That's for radio. For stage, a lot of gestures, so that people far away can see what you're doing, even though they don't hear it. But on TV, the face plays more.
It's all about the face.
Yes.
We're gonna get into some more projects that you've been involved with, but let's take a short break first. We'll be right back.
Knowledge is power, and so on the rich, meet inspiring, reputable individuals who've climbed up the ladder of success, but not without trials and tribulations and battles along the way. Listen to their stories, find out the role they play in our society, be inspired as we get out of them what our viewers truly need to know to reach those heights.
For Lakade Suba, getting the answers that help you make sense of the journey.
Fascination made me want to study.
Who's next on the seat? Find out on The Reach, weeknights on NCTV.
Yo, it's your boy Malik Berry, and you're watching The Reach. Do not touch that dial. God bless. Love you guys.
Welcome back. You know what? I feel like I love having artistic people, artistic folks on my show, because it's just never a dull moment.
No.
The last time I had this much fun, I had a comedian on set, MC Miracle, and it's just always so entertaining having you. During the break, we just all sorts of comedy is just ensuing behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Now, where did we stop? Now, you're currently the Secretary General for the Actors Guild of Nigeria. Let me see if we can get that up there. Now, what?
Lagos State chapter.
Lagos State. Okay, Lagos chapter. So there's a difference. Okay, there we go. Now, what does that entail of? Can you explain to us?
Well, as the Secretary General of Actors Guild of Nigeria, Lagos State chapter, there's this data we're trying to gather, whereby all actors from all ages are kept, and we're actually fighting for a lot of things. One, the insurance of the actor, medical checkup,
which is very important.
Yes. Then also the payment. Most actors nowadays, when they're called for jobs, they're being owed lots of money.
Of course.
And also we're sensitizing all actors by organizing workshops, go for some classes. You can never get tired of education, can you? And when you hear that word, I'm an actor, everybody keeps saying, so they don't know anything.
Don't realize
there's a lot of things that goes into acting. And I strongly believe that most actors, once you are given a role, you're supposed to carry out a research on the character. So carrying out a research on that character helps you broaden your horoscope, broaden your
understanding
IQ yes, and also learn a lot of things about other people's profession. Because you can't be playing a doctor and not know the terminology, and
absolutely,
or an engineer or somebody or a pilot or whatever. So we're doing a lot of things right now in Lagos State to make sure that the actor is comfortable.
Okay. Now, I feel like do you feel like Lagos is the sort of the centralized area for actors, or?
Ever since, yes.
Yeah. It's like that, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess the reason is not just because of location, because we have lots of lovely locations outside Lagos, and that is the truth. We have tourist attractions and all that. But when it comes to the business aspect, most of these companies, their head office is in Lagos. And if you go to a particular company, they will refer you to their head office. So I think it's easy for them to get sponsorship.
Now, another one of your permanent so TV productions, I should say, back in the day was also Fuji House of Commotion. Let me see if we can. Let's watch it. Yeah, there we go. Cowbell.
You see it? If you take this tablet, if you swallow it, it will enter your stomach and turn to food and fill your stomach. So? Yes, food. You want food you can eat.
You eat first.
Leave her. Tablet. It's for sick people. You are not sick. I know. Don't be telling me.
Oh, I just adore comedy. What was going on there? It just seems like so much fun. Every time I see a scene like that, I just think about how if I was in that shoe, I would just keep laughing. How do you get yourself together for something like that?
Everybody kept laughing anyway, but I didn't because it's something I studied. So I belong to the school of Stanislavski. I'm more of a method actor. Before I was given that character, I stayed with someone whose son, our landlord then, because I told her I said we're more through. The landlord had a son. He's late now, Martin. He's deaf and mute. He was deaf and mute since he's late. So I stayed with them for like, as in we stayed in their compound. This Face Me, I Slap You house.
Okay,
I was never born with a silver spoon, talk less of a rubber. But that's another story for another day.
Okay.
So staying with him for years was enough for me to study the character of the person. What I said earlier about research, knowing what you're doing and what you're not doing. So when Amaka Igwe called me for checkmate, then the first thing she said is, Jude, I want to give you a scenario. And she did. She now said, imagine you as deaf and dumb. I'm like,
the rest is history.
Because as an actor, you just study what's around you, put them in your pocket. When it's time to play, just look for that character, bring it out, and that's it. So with my artistic input, we had Bero.
So what was that like, getting this, being part of the Fuji House of Commotion? How was it like being involved within that particular unit? What was the experience like?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It's a feeling that I don't know how to explain, because we all stayed together. Where we were shooting is where we stayed, where we lodged. You know, the apartments is a duplex. So we were all together like a family. We got so used to each other that these are people I see every day. So for like 10 years. So it was lovely. It was a wonderful experience. And as an actor, I think it's only necessary for you to bond with your co-actors. So acting Fuji House of Commotion, acting Genro in Fuji House of Commotion was a wonderful experience.
The chemistry was intact.
Yes, and I think that was one of the characters that really threw me to limelight, that brought me the fame.
Speaking of limelight, I want us to get into a huge movie that you played a role in, but we're going to take a break first and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Yo, it's your boy Malik Berry, and you're watching The Reach. Do not touch that dial. God bless. Love you guys.
Knowledge is power, and so on the rich, meet inspiring, reputable individuals who've climbed up the ladder of success, but not without trials and tribulations and battles along the way. Listen to their stories, find out the role they play in our society, be inspired as we get out of them what our viewers truly need to know to reach those heights.
For Lakade Suba, getting the answers that help you make sense of the journey.
Fascination made me want to study.
Who's next on the seat? Find out on The Reach, weeknights on NCTV.
Welcome back. If you're wondering why I'm smiling, it's just always a fun time behind the scenes when you have artistic people, as I've said previously. Oh my goodness. Now, before we dive into this movie that was just so tremendous, I'm sure it was such a great part of your life, you know, that you probably never forget. But before we get there, let's talk about what are the challenges in being an actor. What do you like trying to get those big roles and being rejected, and how do you cope with that? How do you create a mental space of positivity that keeps you going and says, you know, don't give up, I'm just going to keep auditioning? Because people don't realize the hard work that it takes to actually go and audition role after role and time after time and place after place and getting the part. So speak to us about the challenges and how it differs from, you know, back then and now.
The challenges are not too much for me, but way back when actors are called for auditions, we never had agencies, we never had managers who will source for jobs for you. You have to go yourself for the audition and all that. Except you are established, an A-list actor, then we'll just invite you for a reading. So the reading means, let us see if you can convince us that you are still intact or that you can play the character. But what happens now? We have actors, we have artist management, we have managers who source for jobs for their clients. Now, before you can do that, you must have to prove yourself. Now, how do you prove yourself if they don't cast you? Good. Now, there's what you call the structure. If there's a proper structure on ground, you won't have people casting based on sentiments. As in, oh, that's my brother's uncle's father, niece. I know this guy, this is my friend, let's give him. It's not supposed to be. In a professional setting, you get your character based on merit. So the challenges those are just majorly the challenges. And thank God, right now, we have actors becoming producers. And we have directors also becoming producers, and they know their onions. So right now, there's a little balance. It's not complete yet, because right now what we have are cartels. We have, you know, this person with his own clique of actors, this one with his own clique of crew members, this with, you know, so everybody's trying to get his own clique, and which should not be. And for me, I'm a one-man riot squad, so I blend in any way at all, from movies to film to series to soaps to radio to adverts to voiceovers. I blend.
Now, what are some of the things that have sort of differed or have the evolution from acting back in those days and now? What is it like? What is the scene like back then as compared to now? What was good and as opposed as bad now, or what was bad as opposed as good now? Okay,
what was good then was storyline. We had good storyline. We had good content, but we lacked the technology. We lacked the technical know-how. So now we are good when it comes to technicals, especially sound. But when it comes to content, a little slack somewhere, because everybody's going one way. If somebody writes a story on love and it becomes a hit, everybody will follow the train. You know, if somebody takes the risk of shooting an epic and it becomes boom, everybody goes to epic. So it's one way or the other. We are getting there, because, like I said, then we were not too popular in the international scene. Right now, you will find that Hollywood is coming to Nigeria.
Now speaking of international scene, a huge movie that you played a role in was Half of a Yellow Sun. Now that was a very star-studded cast. It was about the Biafran Civil War. Now you co-starred with so many amazing. You co-starred with Chiwetel Ejiofor, who starred in 12 Years a Slave. I think we have a little video clip up there, but so many amazing stars were in that movie. Let's see if we can pull up a preview from the 12 Years a Slave.
It's wrong with the instruction.
Master brought you here to work. Any more, I'll earn you 100 lashes.
I know what it like to be the object of Master's lash.
No.
In his own time, good Lord will manage them all.
I will survive. I will not fall into despair. I will keep myself hardy till freedom is opportune.
So now we also have Thandie Newton, who starred alongside Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. So just so many, you know, I mean, how do you cope with being surrounded within great stars? So many amazing people who are just. Let me see if we can get the video up there about Thandie Newton. Thandie Newton, pardon me, in Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise.
Yes, with Tom Cruise.
Turn here. Listen carefully. If you do exactly as I say, I can get you out of here. What? This is a rescue. I'm helping you escape. Can you fly a TIE fighter? You with the resistance? What? No. I'm breaking you out. Can you fly a TIE fighter? I can fly anything. Why?
So that was actually John Boyega, who was actually also a part of the movie, and who just totally had a breakout year when he starred in Star Wars. So that's what we just saw a clip from there. That was, I mean, the movie just has. I mean, if I want to keep going and mention all the great actors and actresses that participated in that, we'd never end. We also have Joseph Maul, who from Game of Thrones. Yes. Now, how did it feel being part of such a production that involved so many talented, amazing, prominent actors and actresses, and the movie was such a success. So how did it feel being part of the unit of Half of a Yellow Sun?
Tell you the truth, my first experience with Chiwetel Ejiofor, I felt really intimidated.
But it's only natural. It's only you know.
I was like, and seeing Tandy Newton, I'm like, and then Boeing, I'm like, you know. So, but we spent time together. We shot most of the scenes in Calabar, Tinapa, and most of my scenes, thank God, most of my scenes were just restricted to just the Hollywood actors. And I played the butler, Harrison, to the white guy. And each time I make a move, they start laughing. So at first, I thought maybe they're like, this guy can't act, you know.
So what was really going on?
I was so confused. It was a director that called me and said, the guys were like, man, this guy's cracking us up, man. Shit, this is a good actor. I'm like, sorry for that language. I'm sorry. I was so excited. And that got to a point where I had only 2 scenes left. And they called me, they said, actually, to tell you the truth, viewers at home, is one of my biggest jobs I've ever done since I became an actor. Okay, for the records. So I was called upon, they said, I'm going to finish up with my scenes in UK. Okay. Just one scene.
What was going through your mind at that moment?
If it was in Nigeria, they would tell you, let's shoot it here in Nigeria. Why are you carrying Judah to UK to go and shoot just one scene left? You know, another. But we were 3 in number, me, Zakoji, and Tinamba.
So were you excited? What was going on?
Elated. Although, yeah, no, because I've been to UK before then, for a stage play. I was in UK for like 4 months. So the lady was like, okay, so I will get to UK today, do the shoot by scene the next day. The third day I'll come back to Nigeria. I said, sorry. I said, oh, do you have people in UK? I said, of course I do. Of course I do. I have people in UK. What's your problem? You know, so I stayed. I was there for two weeks. Although we got, I got my 3 months multiple entry visa. So now let me tell you the difference between our movies here and our movies over there. When it comes to Nigeria, you find out that the producer happens to be the director, plays the lead character. He's the one that finds the location self, or even he's the one that even wrote the scripts. But where we went to in UK, I discovered that it's a different ball game. The writer has no business
with
on set. He has delivered his final draft. The director does his own job. Each actor has his own green room where you stay, relax. And I kept saying to myself, why will the actors there not be better than us? When they are more concentrated on their individual, they don't need to think of any other thing. The costumer comes, gives you your costume. So it's different from the person who give you your shoe, the person who do your hair, do your makeup. I'm like,
so everyone is focused on their respective tasks and that alone.
Exactly. Yeah, everybody is there. Even you're an editor. You know?
That's a good one.
So you find everybody doing everything at the same time. But my experience in Half of a Yellow Sun is a memorable one. Actually, I will never forget it. I will never forget it. And it took like 2 years before the film came out because they had issues with some of the scenes.
It was actually shot in 2012, if that's correct.
Yes, 2012, and was released 2014. Yes, they had issues with some of the scenes. Federal government was like, we are going to incite some negative thingies, so they had to edit some major scenes in the movie. And that's why it came out 2014.
Yeah, sometimes it's so hard to kill your babies, but you know the thing is in arts, even in something like TV production and when you're doing documentaries, and sometimes you just have to kill your babies. You know, it's hard, but you have to sometimes. That's the way it goes. Correct. Now, I want us to get into another movie that you did that is so exciting. But wait, first, we're going to go on a break first. And then when we get back, we're going to show you. We'll be right back.
Please.
Inspiring reputable individuals who've climbed up the ladder of success, but not without trials and tribulations and battles along the way. Listen to their stories, find out the role they play in our society, be inspired as we get out of them what our viewers truly need to know to reach those heights.
For Lakade Suba, getting the answers that help you make sense of the journey.
Fascination made me want to study.
Who's next on the seat? Find out on The Reach, weeknights on NCTV.
Yo, it's your boy Malik Berry, and you're watching The Reach. Do not touch that dial. God bless. Love you guys.
Welcome back. Now, you don't want to miss this video, trust me. So now, another comedy. I feel like you've done a lot of comedy.
Yes. I don't know why, but everybody...
Is that a favorite thing to do? Do you like comedy roles?
I like comedy roles, but I'm in love with characters that are more challenging. Yes.
Okay.
I'm in love with comedy. People keep calling me for comedy. I'm like,
well, I wonder why. This is why. Let's take a look at this movie with Aki and Papa. Which one was it? I think it was
Osita Heme. That's Aki.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at this. Another comedy that you took part in. Let me see if my team can pull that video up.
Sylvester, I want to go to town and see my friends. Please take good care of the hotel.
Yes, ma'am.
The girls in the rooms.
Yeah.
Don't forget to collect their money.
Okay.
Please, remember.
Okay. Chiki, this is the opportunity we have been waiting for. Now you know what to do. Go into all the rooms and look for your brother. Once we get him, bam, I'm gonna go.
Oh goodness me! What on earth was happening?
That's a movie called CID. I joined the police force. My character is actually an undercover cop. Of course, comedy. So I'm trying to train Osita to become a CID as well.
What was it like working with him? Because I can't imagine the amount of hilariousness that must have ensued on set.
Funny enough, they were the ones laughing at me. Because I tried as much as possible to make sure that I delivered the goods. Now, they also know me, right? We've been friends for longs. And before that movie, we've acted together in like 2-3 movies before this one. And I don't know. Wait, oh God.
So many memories from the set.
Yeah, that movie was shot in Enugu. That was shot 17 years ago.
Wow. 17 years ago. I'm trying to think what on earth was happening 17 years ago. I don't even remember what was going on yesterday.
No, not 17. That was 15 years ago. Yeah.
15 years. Still a long amount of years.
That was 2002.
I can barely remember what happened when I woke up this morning. Talk about 15 years ago.
Yeah, that was 2002.
So tell me some more about it.
He got mischievous and to a point that he landed my character in trouble. Bragging to be a CID, whereas the guy is a retired policeman. Yeah, but all I know, it was a wonderful experience.
Now you're okay.
I was actually the lead character in the film.
Now, moving on, you're expecting the release of your first animated movie.
Yes.
It's called Sade. And it's going to be out on Easter, so look out for that. Tell me about that, and what does it feel like taking on an animated project this time around? What was that experience like?
Okay, it was strenuous for me. It was actually one of the most challenging jobs I've ever taken as an actor.
You did say you like challenging roles.
Yes, I do. Now, 2015, was when we went to the studios to record Sade. Now, I wasn't built to play the lead character. The lead character happens to be a dog.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Okay. The lead male character happens to be a dog. And the lead character is Sade. Sade found this dog on the street, fell in love with the dog, took the dog home, and started petting the dog and all that. So I played the role of the talking dog. And at a point, the director wanted to use what do you call it, sound effects of dogs, of barking dogs and all that and all that. I said, why do you want to do that? I can do it myself. They're like, really? I said, okay, try me. So I went to the studios. I said, everybody's like, Jude, hey, come on, I'm an actor.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So you can do the big dog. Are you okay? but then there's another character I played, an apprentice to the zookeeper. You understand? So he was a little boy of like 13, 14. So now having to switch the voice of the dog to the voice of the boy was another.
So that's two complete different characters.
Yes,
now.
I played two different characters in the movie. And before we finished the job, the director came up with a sketch of how we were going to look like in the cartoon, the 3D stuff. I don't want to say everything. Guys, watch out.
Okay, so the trailer should be out soon by maybe March?
Yeah.
March? Okay. So he doesn't want to say too much, so watch out for the trailer. You know how actors are. So now, so what are you up to these days? Now you're involved in grand comedy. So what are you involved? What are you up to these days?
Funny enough, grand comedy.
It's funny. Before you mention, I also want to mention because you were based in Lagos for the longest time, and you have so many fans. And of course, when you're in Abuja, they're wondering, oh, what is going on? Oh, hey, what are you doing here? So what do you want to say to your fans? What's going on with you right now?
A lot is going on. I'm here in TSTV, Grand Comedy Channel to be precise, and very soon we'll be up. So we're trying to make sure that we produce quality comedy programs, top notch, for you guys at home. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy as Grand Comedy comes out in style.
I mean, if it's anything like what we've seen, what we've previewed today, we're definitely in for a treat. I don't think I'm even going to be watching my channel. I think I'm just going to be watching Grand Comedy because, I mean, I want to laugh at some amazing contents like that.
Guys, don't worry. We'll be coming out soon.
So, well, we're going to have to wrap up here because my team's going to come knocking on my door. We have Entertainment E-Vibes up next to it. So we're going to have to round up here. But thank you so much for joining us today. It's been such a treat. Don't forget to look out for Sade, the animated movie, which should be out around Easter. So tune in for that. Thank you so much for being here again. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you have a delightful day. See you next time.
Happy New Year.
Yo, it's your boy Malik Berry, and you're watching The Reach. Do not touch that dial. God bless. Love you guys.
Knowledge is power, and so on the rich, meet inspiring, reputable individuals who've climbed up the ladder of success, but not without trials and tribulations and battles along the way. Listen to their stories, find out the role they play in our society. Be inspired as we get out of them what our viewers truly need to know to reach those heights.
For Lakade Suba, getting the answers that help you make sense of the journey.
Fascination made me want to study.
Who's next on the seat? Find out on The Reach, weeknights on NCTV.